Hi, thank you for joining me. I am Kevin Lentz, the pastor of Trinity Badger Ranch, and we are doing our Monday recap of our Sunday message. So we're going to talk about doubting Thomas. We talked about the fact that we have so many emotions in our lives: happiness and sadness and cheerfulness and grumpiness and anxiety and being calm, all that kind of stuff. We are familiar with our own emotions because they live inside of us. I mean, we know how we feel when we hear anything. Matter of fact, we can be real up, feeling great, life is good, and hear one thing, and all of a sudden we're down or depressed because we heard some maybe bad news. Or opposite, we can maybe be sort of depressed or down and hear something wonderful, and it just picks us right up because we are just a ball of emotions. All people are. We also talked about one more emotion that we're familiar with, and that is doubt. We doubt people from things they say. We doubt statements that are made. We doubt newscasts maybe once in a while. Maybe we doubt our leaders like government or teachers or bosses, whatever the case might be. We're familiar with skepticism and with doubt. So we then looked at John chapter 20, verse 25, where Thomas said, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and unless I put my finger where the nails were, and unless I put my hand into his side, I will not believe." And that's how he got to be known as Doubting Thomas, because the disciples told him Jesus is alive, but then he said that. No, I'm not going to believe you guys. I mean, I know Jesus has died, so you're not going to trick me or fool me. I'm not silly. I'm not going to believe everything I hear. So I know Christ has been buried, so I still believe that to be the case. But they're like, no, he's alive. Well, he wasn't going to believe unless he saw. Well, then later, a week later, Jesus and Thomas are together in the same place. And Jesus says to Thomas, "Put your finger here, see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." Because Jesus is the doubt destroyer. All hope, all confidence, all assurance is based in him. He's the one who doubts or gets rid of all doubt or uncertainty or hopelessness or worry or that kind of stuff, because Christ is the answer, the hope, the salvation we have for our lives. And we give thanks to God for that. And when Thomas saw that, he said, "My Lord and my God," he could no longer deny that Christ was alive. Jesus then said something very important. He said, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." He's talking about us there. We have not seen Jesus like we see each other with our own eyes. We've not heard Jesus like we hear each other with our own ears. Now, we hear the word of God. We see the hand of God at work in our lives. But as far as like a person in conversation with him, we don't have that today. So Jesus is saying, all those who have not seen me, who have never heard me speak, but believe, they are blessed. So Jesus is talking about the gift of faith, that we believe the truth, and talking about us. People who live in the modern day, years after the resurrection, and still say Jesus is alive. We give thanks to God for that, and what a great blessing that is. Now, God has many emotions too, that he loves, and he's jealous, and we're aware of that, and he can be angry. We're familiar with the fact that God is an emotional God too, but the greatest emotion God can show us is that compassion. That compassion is what led Jesus to the cross. That compassion is what led to the resurrection of Jesus from the grave. So we give great thanks that our God is a compassionate, loving, caring, present God in our lives, because he loves his children, which is everybody, and we give thanks for that. I concluded the message saying that God takes care. There are no more ifs when it comes to God. We might have ifs in this life with each other and with whatever the case might be. When it comes to God, no more ifs. God is God. We are his people. Never should we doubt, question, or wonder anything about God, because he is the God of our lives and the God in charge of his creation. So we learn from Doubting Thomas that we don't want to be that way. We give thanks that we have that faith. God bless you, and we'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.